It's the first snow day in Toronto, and I'm just on my way to the hospital to get my 5th chemo and my 2nd PICC So hey everyone, I'm just on my way to the hospital for, I guess what you could call my 3rd round of chemo, or 2nd round, whatever you want to call it, depending on the circumstances. Basically, I was told I was in remission, that I didn't need any chemo. Happened to be human error on behalf of my oncology team. I guess they were busy that day and they didn't really look into my file, and they kind of mixed me up with other people. The plan initially was always to go for 4. And after my 2nd round of chemo was completed, I did the PET scan. It came out clear. It was really looking positive. I had excellent reaction to my chemo. So they told me no more. I didn't need anything else. I could go pull out my PICC line immediately. And I was quite happy. I did. But I guess I did have deep doubts inside, knowing that I was supposed to have 4, and all of a sudden I was told no more. I'm done forever. I felt like there was something weird. I started talking to people and everyone was telling me that they'd never heard of anyone completing just 2 rounds of chemo. Anyways, I waited about a month and a half. I was getting ready to go back to work. I started working out again with heavy weights. I was getting back into my old routine, living normal life again. And I did have these doubts, and I did keep telling people, and people were like, don't manifest negativity in your life. You're thinking negative thoughts. You should be thinking positive. Life is giving you a second chance, blah, blah, blah. Needless to say, I was shamed into approaching my doctor a second time for, a few questions I had. So I waited and I waited, and this is a lesson to yourself. Don't ever wait. You should never ever be shamed into asking anything, especially if it's medical, especially if it's related to your health. You should go and ask immediately. Anyways, after thinking, oh, everyone's gonna think I'm crazy for doing this, I did call my online nurse, and I spoke to him and I gave him a bunch of my symptoms. I wasn't displaying major symptoms. I'm not relapsing or anything. I still have, I think, in remission because I don't have any signs of cancer. But I did feel, a lymph node, and I was slightly worried about it because I'd never felt it before. So needless to say, I messaged him. He was like, you know what, let's just take you in to see your doctor regardless. I'll make an appointment. And yesterday when I went to see my doctor, he looked at my blood work. He said my blood work had all come back clean, that my immune system had regained health because I was neutropenic throughout my whole last chemo process. So I was basically house-ridden and living a hermit life. Anyways, he told me that it was normal, that I'd been through something for 4 months and I was gonna, slowly get better. At that moment, I corrected him and I told him I'd only been through 2 months of treatment. And he was like, oh yeah, so 2 months of treatment plus 2 months of the pre and the post. And I guess that struck a chord with him because I did leave, and then about 30 minutes later, he calls me and he said, there's something that bothers me about our conversation. And I said, what? He's like, you told me that you'd only had 2 months of treatment. So I looked into it and you've had 2 months of treatment. Why did you not continue treatment? That's a very a weird protocol to follow. I said, because you told me that I was done. So anyways, needless to say, I was not done when I was told I was done. I should not have taken my PICC line out. I should have had 2 more rounds of chemo. I would have been finished by now. And here I am, snowing, it's winter out, we're approaching that Christmas season, and I'm just on my way to the hospital to get a new PICC line put in and get 2 more rounds of chemo without the bleomycin, because apparently I react to it. So round 2, round 3, whatever you want to call it, here I go again. It's really hard to be positive. But if there's one thing I've learned throughout this process, If there's one thing I've learned throughout this process, is that there's only one thing that gets you through, and that's positivity. So I'm not gonna overthink it. I'm just gonna get in, get it done, get out, and live my life again. Pick line number 2. It's in. Here we go. Chemo. So the pick line is in, and I am just waiting to be called in for chemo. My pre-assessment went well. I changed the bandages, and now we wait. One drug down, 2 to go, because I'm not doing bleo, so have some soup, and I'm gonna chill out and talk. There's other patients in here, so I have to be careful. Alright, so I just finished chemo number 5. The adromycin, I felt that one, and could definitely taste the chemo this time. I think it's been a while, so my body's not used to it anymore. I'm really tired. I'm on a lot of steroids at the moment. I can barely talk, I'm so tired. But yeah, thank God it's over. 2 weeks before the next one, and then I do it all over again. But hopefully my pick line takes easily this time and I don't have a lot of soreness. It's really difficult to put on a bunch of layers because it is cold outside and it's going to be snowing, but right now I'm feeling good. So keep your fingers crossed. It stays this way and it's this easy.